Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you already read the title of this video, then you already know what I'm going to be talking about. Today I'm going to be talking about stuttering tips for public speaking. I have my notes here on my tablet and I'm going to run down through them. There's no particular order that these go in, but just know that every tip is useful in a sense. You just have to make it work for you and accommodate to what fits for your purposes. Now my first tip would be, say if you're in a college setting and you know you have this big speech to do, and you already got your notes or whatever, and I would say the best tip I had for me when I already had my speech already prepared and stuff was to play a game on my phone. Now you're probably thinking, what does a game on my phone has to do with the speech? Now think about it like this. If you're not focused so much on your speech during your presentation, then it kind of makes you relax a little bit, not be so tense up about what you're gonna say and if the words are coming out your mouth correctly. You know, it's good to start your presentation with a clear mind and at least be somewhat relaxed in a sense before you start speaking to your peers or your audience. My next tip would be to have a sheet of paper with the few main points you want to discuss. Now, you could expound on this when you start speaking, but it's best to say when you go up in front of people is to have a few main points that you want to expound on when you talk to people. So you're not just reading off a piece of paper, because some professors or teachers don't allow you to do that, or they want you to say from memory, or they want you to just speak openly about it. My next tip would be greet the class and the professor. Now I say this like it kind of breaks the ice a little bit in the room. If you start, professionally in a college setting, you greet the whole class before you start your speech. Say, like, if you have a morning class, you say, "Good morning, professor and colleagues. Today I'll da 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 da," or "Good afternoon da da da," or "Good evening da da da," and so forth. That's what I mean. It's just to get the words going, and then as soon as you start, as soon as you start, you'll see, okay, I'm kind of almost done. You just have to continue on with your speech. My fourth tip would be, this is kind of depending on your teacher or professor, but I have your speech pre-recorded in advance. Now I know with some professors you could probably get away with this, where you could record your speech and then play it in the class, and then if you want to expound on it more, then you do, and so forth. Because that'll be going into my fifth tip, which is tell your professor about your speech. There is some professors in the universe that's not complete rude and mean about it. If you tell them that you have a speech impaired problem, or that you have problems speaking, then they'll take this as okay, I need to be more careful with this student, or they'll at least care a little bit. Some professors do care. At least the professors that I have run into in my college experience, they seem to care, and they seem to want to help you be more comfortable / successful in the career, in the class. My sixth tip would be to take your time through your argument. Make your points to stand out. It's okay if you stumble on some words. The point is to get your speech across as effectively and efficiently as possible. You don't want to say a bunch of nonsense when you get up there. Make sure your speech and your points make sense, or else you're just gonna lose the whole class, and you're gonna feel like you stood up in front of the classroom to talk, and it didn't make any sense for you to do that, because your speech don't make sense to the topic, and that can sometimes feel just a little bit embarrassing. My seventh tip would be, please get comfortable in your own skin. Now, this is an overall tip overall, you need to get comfortable with speaking in front of a large group, especially if you're in the type of profession that you know you're going to have to be in front of a bunch of people, maybe 5 to 10 people, and you have to explain details and explain facts to people. You know, you have to get comfortable. If you cannot get comfortable, then it's gonna be rough for you. And like, act like you're comfortable, and then eventually, whatever you act, you start to feel comfortable, and you just go with the flow of everything else. My next tip, number 8, would be speak loud and clear to everyone so they can hear you. Now, sometimes when you stutter, you kind of don't. If you're not comfortable with speaking in front of people, then you already have this voice where you kind of can't elongate your voice for everyone to hear you. So you, in a college setting or in school overall, you have to be loud so that the whole class can hear you. Because, this goes into my next tip. Do not speak until the class is quiet and until you have everyone's attention on you. Because you don't want to be talking and they're talking, and then the professor or teacher is like, oh, I'm sorry, such and such, can you start the whole thing over? That that feels a little rude, and like, wow, so I was speaking for the last 10-15 minutes, and now you want me to reiterate the whole thing like I'm going to remember what I just said a few minutes ago. It feels like time wasted. So just wait for the whole class to simmer down, calm down, and then start your speech. Because remember, your voice matters. Whatever you have to say matters. Whatever you have on your sheet of paper, whatever you have in your mind, all that matters. You don't want to rush your speech. Don't rush your speech. Don't rush anything that you're trying to say. Just say it and hope it all goes well. And that's it for my tips. I think I listed about 9 tips. Yeah, public speaking for people who stutter is very tricky, but it is rewarding once you see the look on people's faces, like they're understanding the information that you tell them, like they're not confused or whatever. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.